So of the many crop circles that suddenly appeared towards the end of May 2017 in Wiltshire, where we were at the moment, the second of the two crop circles at Hackpen Hill, the Pentagram star, was the one that had really taken our fancy and was the one that we wanted to go and see. It was probably in our naivety and to our greatest surprise, having only ever seen crop circles on the internet and watched videos, was that we really thought there was going to be a lot of people there and that it would be signposted, and we would find a way of getting to it with great ease, and that it would be very obvious where it was. We had no idea just how opposite in reality to what we were thinking it would actually be. Before actually going, I decided to do all of my research and make sure that we would not be trespassing anywhere. I located the fields, as in this picture. These are before the crops had grown. I located the fields following the Mr. Gyro video footage that is on the crop circle connector, and to the best of my ability mapped out where exactly we'd have to drive to and where I thought it would be. And we did, and it was only about 10 minutes from where we were staying. So when we arrived, we walked through to the field that I thought it was in, and we saw a pile of black tar-like dirt in the corner where I thought the first of the two crop circles would be, and I thought that actually that was where the circle had been, and that perhaps the farmer had buried the crop circle because he didn't want spectators to come and trample all over his field. Having done my research about the farmer who owns these fields, I thought that would not be the case, because he's a fourth generation farmer and a very keen wildlife photographer, and has actually been the inspiration and worked quite hard to establish wildlife sanctuaries in the area. So I thought, no, that didn't sound like that would be Mr. White's way of doing things. So we retreated and I went back, and it ended up, I've made a mark on this particular photograph of a sort of a black triangle in the corner near the double circle that I've sketched in of where the first of the crop circles were. And that was where the pile of dirt was, and it was when I got back to the computer again and looked again at the crop circle connector video, that pile of tar and dirt ended up being our best marker, because it was from that I could establish how we could walk through to the star, the Pentagram star crop circle, which was the one that I wanted to see and the one that actually I thought looked the most beautiful. We thought that it had probably all grown over, because walking through on the public footpaths and the bridle paths, there was no indication whatsoever that there was a crop circle in the area at all. And we thought that perhaps it had all grown out already in a couple of days, and we weren't familiar with how these things worked. Here you can see the bottom right hand corner, the circular one flowing across the bridle path to the Pentagram star. There's the Pentagram star. Here you can see the bridle path, and that's me standing on the bridle path. And this is what the fields looked like all around. There was absolutely no indication anywhere that there was a crop circle. In fact, people were walking their dogs past where it was, and there was just no way of knowing that it was there. We thought that it had all grown over already, and I had to really calculate which path to walk along. And as we walked along, and I said to Gabriel, it has to be here. And we looked across, and it was like, what? Look at that. There was no indication from only a meter away that the crop circle was there, and indeed that big and that deep. So here I'm standing with my shoes on, but for the most part we took our shoes off because it's indicated that the crop is not hurt by the formation of the crop circle. Indeed, the crop is still harvestable and matures. We tread very lightly into it, and we actually returned. We went out off and bought a little drone, which my son Gabriel then practiced using. I've got my phone on a very cheap selfie stick that we've never used, that I tried to just show what it looked like from the ground. There's no way that anybody could have made this on the ground. Each of the circles were discrete. There was no connection overland to it. That's the drone, which only a 14-year-old could have learnt that quickly in about 24 hours how to fly it. And this was our first attempt at taking it within the circle from the ground. So we are standing in it. You have to excuse incredibly amateur shots, but just to show you what it looks like from within and at such close range. So on the ground, you don't get such clarity of the formation. As soon as you go above the ground, it's definitely an aerial perspective is required to see the absolute beauty and magnificence of what's been done. I mean, the smaller circles and the bigger circles, and you just see how beautifully and gently the crop's been laid to one side. It's not been broken, the stalks haven't been severed, they've been laid down, and apparently the crop was still mature in that position and will be harvestable along with the upstanding crop right next to it. There you can see the bridle path, and then see coming back you can access the circle. There was, or the actual crop circle with the pentagram star, you can access without touching the crop or being not on a particular path. We made sure that we could enter the crop circle using a path, and we made sure that we did not harm one ear of wheat. That was part of the etiquette and part of the respect of actually visiting the crop circle, the fact that the impression of the crop circle itself did not hurt the crop, and we weren't about to be any different to that. It was a wonderful experience, and it took a lot of effort and tenacity to find, and it was so worth it. Highly recommended, and tread very gently. This is a sacred sight and experience, and well worth it.